Pericles by William Shakespeare.
To sing a song that old was sung, from Asher's ancient Gower is come. This Antioch then, Antiochus the Great built up the city for his chiefest seat. This king unto him took a fair who died, and left a female heir, with whom the father liking took, and her to incest did provoke. Bad child, worse father, to entice his own to evil should be done by none. The beauty of this sinful dame made many princes thither frame to seek her as a bedfellow, in marriage pleasures playfellow, which to prevent, he made a law to keep her still and men in awe, that whoso asked her for his wife, his riddle told not, lost his life. What now ensues to the judgment of your eye I give, my cause who best can justify.
Young Prince of Tyre, you have at large received the danger of the task you undertake.
I have, Antiochus, and with a soul emboldened with the glory of her praise, think death no hazard in this enterprise.
Bring in our daughter. Prince Pericles.
That would-be son to great Antiochus.
Before thee stands this fair Hesperides, with golden fruit but dangerous to be touched. Her face like heaven enticeth thee to view, a countless glory which desert must gain, and which without desert, because thine eye presumes to reach, all thy whole heap must die.
Antiochus, I thank thee, who hath taught my frail mortality to know itself. So I bequeath a happy peace to you and all good men, as every prince should do, my riches to the earth from whence they came, but my unspotted fire of love to you.
Scorning advice, read the conclusion then, which read and not expounded, 'tis decreed, as these before thee thou thyself shalt bleed.
Of all said yet mayst thou prove prosperous. Of all said yet I wish thee happiness.
Like a bold champion, I assume the lists, nor ask advice of any other thought, but faithfulness and courage. I am no viper, yet I feed on mother's flesh, which did me breed. I sought a husband, in which labor I found that kindness in a father. He's father, son, and husband mild, I, mother, wife, and yet his child. How they may be, and yet in two, as you will live, resolve it you. Sharp physic is the last. But oh, you powers that give heaven, countless eyes to view men's acts, why cloud they not their sights perpetually, if this be true, which makes me pale to read it? Fair glass of light, I loved you, and could still, were not this glorious casket stored with ill. For he's no man on whom perfections wait, that knowing sin within will touch the gate. Good sooth, I care not for you.
Prince Pericles, touch not upon thy life, for that's an article within our law. As dangerous as the rest, your time's expired. Either expound now, or receive your sentence.
Great king, few love to hear the sins they love to act. 'Twould braid yourself too near for me to tell it, for vice repeated is like a wandering wind, blows dust in others' eyes to spread itself. It is enough you know, and it is fit, what being more known grows worse, to smother it. All love the womb that their first being bred. Then give my tongue like leave to love my head.
Heaven, that I had thy head, he has found the meaning. But I will gloss with him. Young Prince of Tyre, though by the tenor of our strict edict, your exposition misinterpreting, we might proceed to cancel of your days. Yet hope, succeeding from so fair a tree, 40 days longer we do respite you. If by which time our secret be undone, this mercy shows will joy in such a son. And until then your entertained shall be, as doth befit our honor and your worth.
How courtesy would seem to cover sin, when what is done is like a hypocrite. Antioch, farewell, for wisdom sees, those men blush not in actions blacker than the night, will shun no course to keep them from the light. Then, lest my life be cropped to keep you clear, by flight I'll shun the danger which I fear.
He hath found the meaning. This prince must die, for by his fall my honor must keep high. Who attends us there?
Your Highness, call.
Thaliard, you are of our chamber, Thaliard, and our mind partake her private actions. To your secrecy and for your faithfulness, we will advance you, Thaliard. Behold, here's poison, and here's gold. We hate the Prince of Tyre, and thou must kill him. It fits thee not to ask the reason why, because we bid it. Say, is it done?
My lord, 'tis done.
Enough. Let your breath cool yourself, telling your haste.
My lord, Prince Pericles is fled.
As thou wilt live by after, and like an arrow shot from a well-experienced archer hits the mark. His eye doth level at, and so thou never return, unless thou say, Prince Pericles is dead.
My lord, if I can get him within my pistol's length, I'll make him sure enough. So, farewell to your highness.
Thaliard adieu, till Pericles be dead. My heart can lend no succor to my head.
Why should this change of thoughts, the sad companion, dull-eyed melancholy, be my so used a guest, as not an hour in the day's glorious walk, nor peaceful night, the tomb where grief should sleep, can breed me quiet? Here, pleasures court my eyes, and my eyes shun them, and danger, which I feared, is in Antioch, whose aim seems far too short to hit me here. Yet neither pleasure's art can joy my spirits, nor yet the other's distance comfort me. Then it is thus. The passions of the mind that have their first conception by misdread have after nourishment and life by care. And what is first but fear what might be done grows elder now and cares it be not done. And so with me, the great Antiochus, against whom I am too little to contend, since he so great can make his will his act, will think me speaking, though I swear to silence, and what may make him blush in being known, he'll stop the course by which it might be known. With hostile forces he'll o'erspread the land, and with the ostent of war will look so huge. Amazement will drive courage from the state. Our men be vanquished ere they do resist, and subjects punished that ne'er thought offense. Which care of them, not pity of myself, makes both my body pine and soul to languish, and punish that before that he would punish.
Joy and all comfort in your sacred breast.
And keep your mind till you return to us peaceful and comfortable.
Peace, peace, and give experience tongue. They do abuse the king that flatter him, whereas reproof, obedient and in order, fits kings as they are men, for they may err. Prince, pardon me or strike me if you please. I cannot be much lower than my knees.
All leave us else. Helicanus, thou hast moved us. What seest thou in our looks?
An angry brow, dread lord.
If there be such a dart in princes' frowns, how durst thy tongue move anger to our face?
How dare the plants look up to heaven from whence they have their nourishment?
Thou knowest I have the power to take thy life from thee.
I have ground the axe myself. Do you but strike the blow.
Rise. Prithee, rise. Sit down. Thou art no flatterer. I thank thee for it, and heaven forbid that kings should let their ears hear their faults hid. What wouldst thou have me do?
To bear with patience such griefs as you yourself do lay upon yourself.
Thou speakst like a physician, Helicanus. Attend me then. I went to Antioch, where, as thou knowest, against the face of death, I sought the purchase of a glorious beauty, from whence an issue I might propagate. Her face was to mine eye beyond all wonder. The rest, hearken thine ear, as black as incest, which by my knowledge found, the sinful father seemed not to strike, but smooth. But thou know'st this, 'tis time to fear when tyrants seem to kiss, which fear so grew in me, I hither fled. How many worthy princes' bloods were shed to keep his bed of blackness unlaid ope. To lop that doubt, he'll fill this land with arms and make pretense of wrong that I have done him. I knew him tyrannous, and tyrants' fears decrease not, but grow faster than the years.
Antiochus you fear, and justly too, I think you fear the tyrant. Therefore, my lord, go travel for a while, till that his rage and anger be forgot, or till the destinies do cut his thread of life. Your rule direct to any. If to me, day serves not light, more faithful than I'll be.
I do not doubt your faith, but should he wrong my liberties in my absence?
We'll mingle our bloods together in the earth, from whence we had our being and our birth.
Tyre, I now look from thee then, and to Tarsus intend my travel, where I'll hear from thee, and by whose letters I'll dispose myself. The care I had and have of subjects good on thee I lay, whose wisdom's strength can bear it. I'll take thy word, for faith not ask thine oath. Who shuns not to break one will crack both.
So this is Tyre, and this the court. Here must I kill King Pericles. I perceive he was a wise fellow and had good discretion, that being bid to ask what he would of the king, desired he might know none of his secrets. Now do I see he has some reason for it, for if a king bid a man be a villain, he's bound by the indenture of his oath to be one.
You shall not need, my fellow peers of Tyre, further to question me of your king's departure. His sealed commission left in trust with me doth speak sufficiently. He's gone to travel.
Oh, the king gone?
Being at Antioch.
What from Antioch?
Royal Antiochus, on what cause I know not, took some displeasure at him. At least he judged so, and doubting lest that he had erred or sinned, to show his sorrow, he correct himself. So puts himself unto the shipman's toil.
Well, I perceive I shall not be hanged now, although I would. But since he's gone, the king's ears must please. He escaped the land to perish at the seas. I'll present myself. Peace to the lords of Tyre.
Lord Thaliard from Antiochus is welcome.
Well, from him I come with message unto princely Pericles, but since my landing I have understood your lord has bestook himself to unknown travels. Now message must return from whence it came.
We have no reason to desire it, commended to our master, not to us. Yet, ere you shall depart, this we desire. As friends to Antioch, we may feast in Tyre.
Oh, my Dionyza, shall we rest us here, and by relating tales of others' griefs, see if 'twill teach us to forget our own?
That were to blow at fire and hope to quench it. For who digs hills because they do aspire, throws down one mountain to cast up a higher?
Oh, Dionyza, who wanteth food and will not say he wants it, or can conceal his hunger till he famish? That if heaven slumber while their creatures want, they may awake their helps to comfort them. I'll then discourse our woes, felt several years, and wanting breath to speak, help thee with tears.
I'll do my best, sir.
This Tarsus, o'er which I have the government, a city on whom plenty held full hand, for riches strewed herself even in the streets, all poverty was scorned, and pride so great the name of help grew odious to repeat.
Oh, 'tis true, true.
See what heaven can do by this our change. Those palates who, not yet 2 summers younger, must have inventions to delight the taste, would now be glad of bread and beg for it. Those mothers who, to muzzle up their babes, thought not too curious, are ready now to eat those little darlings who made loved.
Oh,
show for hunger's teeth that man and wife draw lots, who first shall die to lengthen life. Here stands a lord, and there's a lady weeping. Here many sink, yet those who've seen them fall have scarce strength left to give them burial. Is not this true?
Our cheeks and hollow eyes do witness it.
Oh, let those cities that of plenty's cup and her prosperity so largely taste, with their superfluous riots hear these tears. The misery of Tarsus may be theirs.
Where's the Lord Governor?
Here, speak out thy sorrows which thou bringst in haste, for comfort is too far for us to expect.
We have descried upon our neighboring shore a portly sail of ships make hitherward.
Oh, I thought as much. One sorrow never comes but brings an heir. That may succeed as his inheritor, and so in ours. Some neighboring nation taking advantage of our misery, stuff these hollow vessels with their power to beat us down, the which are down already, and make a conquest of unhappy me, whereas no glory's got to overcome.
That's the least fear. By the semblance of their white flags displayed, they bring us peace and come to us as favorers, not as foes.
Go tell their generals we attend him here, to know for what he comes, and whence he comes, and what he craves.
I go, my lord.
Welcome is peace, if he on peace consist. If wars, we are unable to resist.
Lord Governor, for so we hear you are, let not our ships and number of our men be like a beacon fired to amaze your eyes, nor come we to add sorrow to your tears, but to relieve them of their heavy load. And these, our ships, are stored with corn to make your needy bread, and give them life whom hunger starved half dead.
The gods of Greece protect you, and we'll pray for you.
Arise, I pray you, rise. We do not look for reverence, but to love and harborage for ourself, our ships and men.
The which when any shall not gratify or pay you with unthankfulness in thought, be it our wives, our children, or ourselves, the curse of heaven and men succeed their evils. Your grace is welcome to our town and us.
Which welcome we'll accept. Feast here a while until our stars that frown lend us a smile.
Good Helican that stayed at home, not to eat honey like a drone, but to fulfill his prince desire, sends word of all that haps in Tyre. He doing so puts forth to seas, where when men be, there's seldom ease. Where now the wind begins to blow, thunder above and deeps below make such unquiet that the ship should house him safe is wrecked and split. And he, good prince, having all lost, by waves from coast to coast is tossed. All perishing of man, of wealth, and naught escaping but himself, till fortune, tired with doing bad, threw him ashore to give him glad.
Yet cease your ire, you angry stars of heaven. Alas, the sea hath cast me on the rocks, washed me from shore to shore, and left by breath nothing to think on but ensuing death. Let it suffice the greatness of your powers to have bereft a prince of all his fortunes, and having thrown him from your watery grave, here to have death in peace is all he'll crave.
Come, bring away the nets.
Patch breach, I say.
What say you, master?
Oh, look how thou stirrest now. Come away, or I fetch thee with a wanion.
Faith, master. I'm thinking of the poor men that were cast away before us even now.
Alas, poor souls. Grieve my heart to hear what pitiful cries they made to us to help them. And well a day, we can scarce help ourselves.
Oh, nay, master. Said I not as much when I saw the porpoise, how he bounced and tumbled? They say they're half fish, half flesh. A plague on them. They ne'er come, but I'd look to be washed. Master, I marvel how the fishes live in the sea.
Why, men do with land. The great ones eat of the little ones. I can compare our rich misers to nothing so fitly as to a whale. He plays and tumbles, driving the poor fry before him, and at last, devours them all at a mouthful. Such wails have I heard on the land who never leave gaping till they swallow the whole parish, church, steeple, bells, and all.
Ah, but master, if I had been the sexton, I would have been that day in the belfry.
Why, man?
Because he should have swallowed me too. And when I had been in his belly, I would have kept such a jangling of the bells that he should never have left till he cast bells, steeple, church, and parish up again. But if the good King Simonides were of my mind, he would purge the land of these drones that rob the bee of her honey.
Peace be at your labor, honest fishermen. May see the sea hath cast upon your coast.
What a drunken knave was the sea to cast thee in our way.
A man whom both the waters and the wind in that vast tennis court have made the ball for them to play upon, entreats you, pity him. He asks of you that never used to beg.
No, friend, cannot you beg? Is them in our country, Greece, gets more work with begging than we can do with working.
Canst thou catch any fishes then?
Oh, I never practiced it.
Nathan, thou wilt starve, sure, for there is nothing to be got nowadays unless thou canst fish for it.
What I have been, I have forgot to know. But what I am, want, teaches me to think of. A man thronged up with cold. My veins are chill and have no more of life than may suffice to give my tongue that heat, to ask your help. Which, if you shall refuse, when I am dead, for that I am a man, pray see me buried.
Aye, quoth he. Now, God's forbid, I got a gown here. Come, put it on. Keep thee warm. Now, for me, a handsome fellow. Come, thou shalt go home, and we'll have puddings and flapjacks. Oh, I shall be welcome.
I thank you, sir.
Master, I'll go and I'll drop the net.
Hark you, sir. You know where you are?
Not well.
Well, I'll tell you. This is called Pentopolis, and our king, the good Simonides.
The good King Simonides, do you call him?
Aye, sir. And he deserves so to be called for his peaceable reign and good government.
He is a happy king, since he gains from his subjects the name of good by his government. How far is his court distant from this shore?
Oh, marry, sir, a half-day's journey. Oh, and I tell you, he hath a fair daughter. And tomorrow's a birthday. And there are princes and knights come from all parts of the world to joust and tourney for love.
Were my fortunes equal to my desires, I could wish to make one there.
Oh, sir, things must be as they may.
Help, master! Help! There's a fish here that hangs in this net like a poor man's rat in the law. Hardly come out. Oh, spots on it. It's come at last, and it's turned into a rusty armor.
An armor, friends! I pray you, let me see it. Oh, thanks, fortune, yet that after all my crosses thou givest me somewhat to repair myself. And though it was mine own, part of my heritage which my dead father did bequeath to me, it kept where I so dearly loved it, till the rough seas that spare not any man took it in rage, though calm to have given it again. I thank thee for it. Nigh shipwrecks now no ill. I have here what my father gave in his will.
What mean you, sir?
To beg of you, kind friends, this coat of worth, for it was sometime target to a king, and that you'll guide me to your sovereign's court, where with it I may appear a gentleman. And if that ever my low fortune's better, I'll pay your bounties. Till then, rest your debtor.
Why wilt thou turn it for the lady?
I'll show the virtue I have borne in arms.
Why, do take, and the gods give thee good on it.
But, hark you, my friend, it was we that made up this garment through the rough seams of the waters. There are certain condolements, certain veils. I hope, sir, if you thrive, that you'll remember from whence you had it.
Believe it, I will. By your furtherance, I am clothed in steel. Only, my friend, I am unprovided of a pair of bases.
Oh, well, we'll sure provide. Thou shalt have my best gown to make thee a pair, and I will bring thee to the court myself.
Then honor be but equal to my will. This day I'll rise, or else add ill to ill.
Are the knights ready to begin the triumph?
They are, my lord.
Ready them. We are ready.
It pleaseth you, my royal father, to express my commendations great, whose merits less.
It's fit it should be so, for princes are a model which heaven makes like unto itself. As jewels lose their glory if neglected, so princes their renowns if not respected. 'Tis now your honour, daughter, to explain the labour of each knight in his device.
Which, to preserve mine honour, I'll perform.
Who is the first knight who doth prefer himself?
A knight of Sparta, my renowned father, and the device he bears upon his shield, the word lux tua vita mihi.
Oh, he loves you well that holds his life of you. Who's the second that presents himself?
A prince of Macedon, my royal father, and the device he bears upon his shield is an armed knight that's conquered by a lady.
Oh, and with the third?
A burning torch that's turned upside down.
Which shows that beauty hath his power and will, which can as well inflame as it can kill. And what's the fourth and last, the which the knight himself with such a graceful courtesy delivered?
He seems to be a stranger, but his present is a withered branch that's only green at the top. The motto, in hac spe vivo.
A pretty moral. From the dejected state wherein he is, he hopes by you his fortunes yet may flourish.
He had mean be better than his outward show can anyway speak in his just commend, for by his rusty outside he appears to have practiced more with whipstock than the lance.
Opinion's a fool, that makes us scan the outward habit by the inward man. But stay, the knights are coming. Knights, you are welcome. Welcome, to say you are welcome were superfluous. Prepare for mirth becomes a feast. You are my princes and my guests.
But you, my knight and guest, to whom this wreath of victory I give, and crown you king of this day's happiness.
'Tis more by fortune, lady, than by merit.
Call it by what you will, the day is yours. And here, I hope, is none that envies it. In framing an artist, art hath thus decreed to make some good, but others to exceed. And you are her laboured scholar. Come, queen of the feast, for daughter so you are, here take your place. Marshal the rest as they deserve their grace.
Sir, yonder is your place.
Oh, no, some other place is more fit.
Oh, contend not, sir. For we are gentlemen that neither in our hearts nor outward eyes envy the great, nor do the low despise.
You are right courteous knights.
Sit, sir, sit!
I do know he's a gallant gentleman.
He's but a country gentleman. He's done no more than other knights have done, has broken a staff or two, so let it pass.
To me, he seems like a diamond to glass.
Yon kings to me, like to my father's picture, had princes sit like stars about his throne, and he the sun for them to reverence. Whereby I see that time's the king of men. He's both their parent and he is their grave, and gives them what he will, not what they crave.
What are you merry knights?
Who can be other than in the royal presence?
Here with a cup that's stored unto the brim, as you do love, filled to your mistress's lips, we drink this health to you.
We thank you, grace.
Well, yet pause a while. Yon knight doth sit too melancholy, as if the entertainment in our court had not a show might countervail his worth. Note it not you, Thaisa?
What is it to me, my father?
Oh, attend my daughter. Princes in this should live like gods above. Therefore, to make his entrance more sweet, here say we drink this standing bowl of wine to him.
Alas, my father, it befits not me unto a stranger knight to be so bold.
How? Do as I bid you, or you'll move me else.
Now, by the gods, he could not please me better.
And further tell him, we desire to know of whence he is, his name and parentage.
The king, my father, sir, has drunk to you.
I thank him.
And further, he desires to know of you, of whence you are, your name and parentage.
A gentleman of Tyre. My name, Pericles. my education been in arts and arms, who, looking for adventures in the world, was by the rough seas reft of ships and men, and after shipwreck, driven upon this shore.
Now by the gods, I pity his misfortune, and will awake him from his melancholy. Even in your armors, as you are addressed, will very well become a soldier's dance. Come, sir, here is a lady that wants breathing too. Yeah, that's enough of that. Thanks, gentlemen. I can't turn it off. Thank you, gentlemen. All have done well, but you the best. Pages and lights to conduct these knights unto their several lodgings. Yours, sir, we have given order to be next our own.
I am at your grace's pleasure.
Princes, it is too late to talk of love. Therefore, each one betake him to his rest. Tomorrow, all for speeding, do their best.
No, Aeschines, know this of me. Antiochus from incest lived not free. When he was seated in a chariot of an inestimable value, and his daughter with him, a fire from heaven came and shriveled up their bodies e'en to loathing, for they so stunk that all those eyes adored them ere their fall. Scorn now their hand should give them burial.
Know that our griefs are risen to the top, and now at length they overflow their banks.
Your griefs? For what? Wrong not your prince you love.
Wrong not yourself then, noble Helicane. But if the prince do live, let us salute him. If in his grave he rest, we will find him there and leave us to our free election.
Whose death indeed, your noble self that best know how to rule and how to reign, we thus submit unto our sovereign.
If that you love Prince Pericles, forbear. A 12-month longer, let me entreat you to forbear the absence of your king. If in which time expired he not return, I shall with aged patience bear your yoke. Then you love us, we you, and we'll clasp hands. When peers thus knit, a kingdom ever stands.
Good morrow to the good King Simonides.
Knights, from my daughter, this I let you know, that for this 12 months she'll not undertake a married life. Her reason to herself is only known, which yet from her by no means can I get.
May we not get access to her, my lord?
Faith, by no means. She is so strictly tied to her bedchamber, 'tis impossible.
Loth to bid farewell, we take our leaves.
So they are well dispatched. Now to my daughter's letter. She tells me here she'll wed the stranger knight, or never more view nor day nor light. 'Tis well, mistress, your choice agrees with mine. Oh, soft, here she comes. Shh, I must dissemble it.
All fortune to the good Simonides.
To you as much. Let me ask you one thing. What do you think of my daughter, sir?
A most virtuous princess.
And she's fair too, is she not?
As a fair day in summer, wondrous fair.
Sir, my daughter thinks very well of you. Aye, so well that you must be her master, and she will be your scholar. Peruse this writing else.
What's here? A letter. That she loves the knight of Tyre. This is the king's subtlety to have my life. Oh, seek not to entrap me, gracious lord, that never aimed so high to love your daughter, but bend all offices to honor her.
Thou hast bewitched my daughter, and thou art a villain.
No, by the gods, I have not. I never did thought of mine levy offense. Never did my actions yet commence a deed might gain her love, nor or your displeasure.
Traitor, thou liest.
Traitor?
Aye, traitor.
Even in his throat, unless it be the king that calls me traitor, I return the lie.
Now by the gods I do applaud his courage.
My actions are as noble as my thoughts. I came unto your court for honor's cause, and not to be a rebel to her state. And he that otherwise accounts of me, this sword shall prove he's honor's enemy.
No, here comes my daughter. She can witness it.
Then, as you are as virtuous as fair, resolve your angry father. If my tongue did e'er solicit, or my hand subscribe to any syllable that made love to you.
Why, sir, say if you had, who takes offense? That would make me glad.
Yea, mistress, are you so peremptory? I'm glad on't with all my heart. I'll tame you. I'll bring you to subjection. Will you, not having my consent, bestow your love and affections unto a stranger, who, for aught I know, may be, nor can I think the contrary, as grace in blood as myself? Therefore, hear you, mistress. Either frame your will to mine, and you, sir, hear you, either be ruled by me, or I will make you man and wife. Nay, come your hands, and lips must seal it too, and joined, I'll thus your hopes destroy, and for a further grief, God give you joy. What? Are you both pleased?
Yes, if you love me, sir.
Even as my life, or blood that fosters it.
What, are you both agreed?
Yes, if it please your majesty.
So it pleaseth me so well that I will see you wed, and then, with what haste you can, get you to bed.
Hymen hath brought the bride to bed, where, by the loss of maidenhead, a babe is molded. Be attent, and time that is so briefly spent with your fine fancies quaintly each, what's dumb in show, I'll plain with speech. To the court of King Simonides are letters brought. The tenor these: Antiochus and his daughter dead. The men of Tyrus on the head of Helicanus would set on the crown of Tyre, but he will none. The mutiny he there hastes to oppress. Says to him, if King Pericles come not home in twice 6 moons, he, obedient to their dooms, will take the crown. With news of this brought hither to Pentapolis, Pericles makes hence to Tyre. His queen with child makes her desire, which who should cross, she takes long to go. Lychorida, her nurse, she takes, and so to sea. Their vessel shakes on Neptune's billow. The grisly north disgorges such a tempest forth that up and down the poor ship drives to put in peril all their lives.
Thou God of this great vast, rebuke these surges which wash both heaven and hell. And thou that hast upon the wind's command, bind them in brass, having called them from the deep. Lucina, O divinest patroness, and midwife gentle to those that cry by night, convey thy deity aboard our dancing boat, make swift the pangs of my queen's travails. Now, Lychorida.
Here is a thing too young for such a place, who if it had conceit would die, as I am like to do. Take in your arms this piece of your dead queen.
How, Lychorida?
Patience, good sir, do not assist the storm. No. Here's all that is left living of your queen, a little daughter. For the sake of it, be manly and take comfort.
Are you gods? Why do you make us love your goodly gifts and snatch them straight away?
Patience, good sir, even for this charge.
Now, mild may be thy life. Thou hast had as chiding a nativity as fire, air, water, earth, and heaven can make to herald thee from the womb. Now the good gods throw their best eyes on it.
What courage, sir, God save you.
Courage enough. I do not fear the flaw. It hath done to me the worst. Yet, for the love of this poor infant, this fresh new seafarer, I would it would be quiet.
Sir, your queen must overboard. The sea works high, the wind is loud, and will not lie till the ship be cleared of the dead.
That's your superstition.
Pardon us, sir. With us at sea, it hath been still observed, and we are strong in custom, therefore briefly yield her.
For she must overboard straight. Most wretched queen, a terrible childbed hast thou had, my dear. No light, no fire. The unfriendly elements forgot thee utterly. nor have I time to give thee hallowed to thy grave, but straight must cast thee, scarcely coffined in the ooze. O Lychorida, prithee lay the babe upon the pillow. Hide thee whilst I say a priestly farewell to her. Suddenly, woman.
Well, sir, we have a chest beneath the hatches.
I thank thee. Mariner, say, what coast is this?
We are near Tharsus.
Thither, gentle mariner. Alter thy course from Tyre. Whence canst thou reach it?
By break of day, if the wind cease.
Oh, make for Tarsus. There I will visit Cleon, for the babe cannot hold out to Tyre. There I'll leave it at careful nursing. Go thy ways, good mariner. I'll bring the body presently.
Sir, our lodgings standing bleak upon the sea shook as the earth did quake. The very principles did seem to rend, all to topple. Pure surprise and fear made me to quit the house.
That is the cause we trouble you so early. 'Tis not our husbandry.
Oh, you say well. Pylaman, ho!
Doth my lord call?
Fire and meat for these poor men. 'Has been a turbulent and stormy night. I have been in many, but such a night as this till now I ne'er endured. 'Tis known I ever have studied physic, though which secret art, by turning o'er authorities, I have, together with my practice, made familiar to me and to my aid the blessed infusions that dwell in vegetatives, in metals, stones, and I can speak of the disturbances that nature works and of her cures. What's that?
Sir, even now did the sea toss up upon our shore this chest. 'Tis of some wrack. 'Tis wondrous heavy.
Set down, let's look upon't.
It's like a coffin, sir.
I never saw so huge a billow, sir. Has tossed it upon shore.
Wretched open soft. Smells most sweetly in my sense.
Oh, delicate odor.
Has ever hit my nostril. So, up with it. Most potent gods. What's here, a corpse? Shrouded in cloth of state, balmed and entreasured with full bags of spices, a passport to Apollo. Here I give to understand, if ere this coffin drive a land, I, King Pericles, have lost this queen worth all our mundane cost. Who finds her, give her burying. She was the daughter of a king. Besides this treasure for a fee, the gods requite his charity. If thou livest, Pericles, thou hast a heart that even cracks for woe. This chanced tonight.
Most likely, sir.
Nay, certainly tonight, for look how fresh she looks. They were too rough that threw her in the sea. Make a fire within, fetch hither all my boxes in my closet. Death may usurp on nature many hours, and yet the fire of life kindle again and o'er-pressed spirits. Well said, the fire and clothes, the rough and woeful music that we have, cause it to sound, beseech you. Gentlemen, this queen will live. Nature awakes a warm breath out of her. She hath not been entranced about 5 hours. See how she begins to blow into life's flower again. She is alive. Behold her eyelids. Cases to those heavenly jewels which Pericles hath lost begin to part their fringes of bright gold. The diamonds of a most praised water doth appear.
Oh, dear Diana, where am I? Where's my lord?
To the next chamber bear her, get linen. Now this matter must be looked to, for her relapse is mortal. Come, and Aesculapius guide us.
Most honored Cleon, I must needs be gone. My 12 months are expired, and Tyre stands in a litigious peace. I charge your charity withal, leaving her the infant of your care, beseeching you to give her princely training, that she may be mannered as she is born.
Fear not, my lord, but thank your grace that fed my country with your corn, for which the people's prayers still fall upon you.
So, I take my leave. Good madam, make me blessed in your care in bringing up my child.
I have one myself, who shall not be more dear to my respect than yours, my lord.
Madam, my thanks and prayers.
We'll give you up to the mass Neptune in the gentlest winds of heaven.
I will embrace your offer. Come, dearest madam. No tears, Lychorida, no tears. Look to your little mistress on whose grace you may depend hereafter.
Madam, this letter and some certain jewels lay with you in your coffer, which are now at your command. Know you the character?
It is my lord's that I was shipped at sea. I will well remember, even on my learning time. But whether they're delivered by the holy gods, I cannot rightly say. But since King Pericles, my wedded lord, I ne'er shall see again, a vestal livery will I take me to, and never have more joy.
Madam, if this you purpose as ye speak, Diana's temple is not distant far, where you may abide till your date expire. Moreover, if you please, a niece of mine shall there attend you.
My recompense is thanks, that's all. Yet my good will is great, though the gift small.
Imagine Pericles arrived at Tyre, welcomed and settled to his own desire. His woeful queen we leave at Ephesus, unto Diana there a votaress. Now to Marina bend your mind, whom our fast-growing scene must find at Tarsus, and by Cleon trained in music, letters, who hath gained of education all the grace which makes her both the heart and place of general wonder. But alack, that monster envy, off the rack of earned praise, Marina's life seeks to take off by treason's knife. And in this kind hath our Cleon one daughter named Philoten. For certain in our story she would ever with Marina be. But it is said Marina gets all praises, which are paid as debts and not as given. This so darks in Philoten all graceful marks, that Cleon's wife, with envy rare, a present murderer does prepare for good Marina, that her daughter might stand peerless by this slaughter. The sooner her vile thoughts do stead, Lychorida, our nurse, is dead, and cursed Dionyza hath the pregnant instrument of wrath pressed for this blow. The unborn event I do commend to your content.
Thy oath remember, thou hast sworn to do it. 'Tis but a blow which never shall be known. Thou canst not do a thing in the world so soon to yield thee so much profit. Let not conscience, which is but cold, inflaming love in the bosom inflame too nicely, nor let pity melt these, but be a soldier to thy purpose.
I will do it. Oh, she's a goodly creature.
Yet the fitter than the god should have her. Oh, here she comes, weeping for her only mistress's death. Art thou resolved?
I am resolved.
No, I will rob Tellus of her weed to strew thy green with flowers. The yellows, blues, the purple violets, and marigolds shall as a carpet hang upon thy grave while summer days do last. Ay me, poor maid, born in a tempest when my mother died, this world to me is like a lasting storm, worrying me from my friends.
How now, Marina? Why do you keep alone? How chanced my daughter's not with you? Do not consume your blood with sorrowing. Come, give me your flowers. On the sea margin, walk with Leonine. The air is quick there, and it pierces and sharpens the stomach. Come, Leonine, take her by the arm. Walk with her.
No, I pray you, I'll not bereave you of your servant.
Come, come. I love the king, your father, and yourself with more than foreign heart. We every day expect him here when he shall come and find our paragon to all reports thus blasted. He will repent the breadth of his great voyage, blame both my lord and me that we have taken no care to your best courses. Go, I pray you, walk and be cheerful once again. Care not for me, I can go home alone.
Well, I will go, but yet I have no desire to it.
Come, come, I know 'tis good for you. Walk half an hour, Leonina, at the least. Remember what I have said?
I warrant you, madam.
I'll leave you, my sweet lady, for a while, pray. Walk slowly, do not heat your blood.
My thanks, sweet madam. Is the wind westerly that blows?
Southwesterly.
When I was born, the wind was north.
What so?
My father, as nurse said, did never fear, but cried, "Good seamen!" to the sailors, galling his kingly hands, hailing ropes, and clasping to the mast endured a sea that almost burst the deck.
When was this?
When I was born. Never was waves nor wind more violent. And from the latter tackle washes off a canvas climber. "Ha," says one, "will out!" And with a dropping industry, they skip from stem to stern.
Come, say your prayers.
What mean you?
If you require a little space for prayer, I grant it. Pray, but be not tedious, for the gods are quick of ear, and I am sworn to do my work with haste.
Why will you kill me?
To satisfy my lady.
Why would she have me killed now? As I can remember, by my troth, I never did her hurt in all my life. I never spake bad word, nor did ill turn to any living creature. How have I offended? Wherein my death might yield her any profit, or my life imply her any danger?
My commission is not to reason of the deed, but to do it.
You will not do it for all the world, I hope. You are well favored, and your looks foreshow that you have a gentle heart. I saw you lately when you caught hurt in parting two that fought. Good sooth, it showed well in you. Do so now. Your lady seeks my life. Come you between and save poor me, the weaker.
I am sworn, and I will dispatch.
A prize! A prize!
Half part, me mateys, half part. Come, let's have her aboard suddenly.
These roving thieves served the great pirate Valdez, and they seized Marina. Let her go. I'll swear she's dead and thrown into the sea.
Bolt.
Sir?
Search the market narrowly. Middling's full of gallants. We lost too much money this mar by being too wenchless.
We were never so much out of creatures. We have a poor 3, and they can do no more than they can do. And they, with continual action, are even as good as rotten.
Well, therefore, let's have fresh ones, whatever we pay for them.
Thou sayest 'tis true, 'tis not our bringing up of poor bastards, as I think I have brought up some 11.
I do, 11, and brought them down again. But shall I search the market?
Yeah, what else, man? The stuff we have, a strong wind will blow it to pieces there, so peace be solid.
I would say it's true. They're too unwholesome a conscience. So the poor Transylvanian's dead that lay with the little baggage.
Aye, she quickly pooped him. She made him roast meat for worms, but I'll go search the market.
3 or 4,000 chickens were as pretty a proportion to live quietly and so give over.
Why to give over, I pray you? Is it a shame to get when we are old?
Well, our credit comes not in like the commodity, nor the commodity wages not with the danger. Therefore, if in our youths we could pick up some pretty estate, 'twere not amiss to keep our door hatched. Besides, the sore terms we stand upon with the gods will be strong with us for giving o'er.
Come, other sorts offend as well as we.
As well as we, aye, and better too. We offend worse. Neither is our profession any trade. It's no calling, but oh, here comes Bolt. Bolt. Bolt, speak up, speak up. What, are you dead? It's like you...
Master, I have gone through for this piece, you see, if you like her. So if not, I have lost my earnest.
Bolt, has she any qualities?
She has a good face, speaks well, and has excellent good clothes. There's no further necessity of qualities can make her be refused.
And what's her price, Bolt?
I cannot be baited. One do it of 1,000 pieces.
Well, follow me, my masters. You shall have your money presently. Wife, take her in, instruct her what she has to do, and she may not be raw in her entertainment.
Bolt, take you the marks of her, the color of her hair, complexion, height, age, with warrant of her virginity, and cry, he that will give most shall have her first. Whoa, such a maidenhead were no cheap thing, if men were as they have been.
Performance shall follow.
Lack that Leonine was so slack, so slow. He should have struck, not spoke. Or that these pirates, not enough barbarous, had not o'erboard thrown me for to seek my mother.
Why lament you, pretty one?
That I am pretty.
Oh, come, the gods have done their part in you.
I accuse them not.
You are light into my hands where you were like to live.
The more my fault to escape his hands where I was like to die.
Aye, and you shall live in pleasure.
No.
Yes, indeed shall you. And taste of gentlemen of all fashions, you shall fare well. You shall have the difference of all complexions. What, do you stop your ears?
Are you a woman?
What would you have me be? Then I be not a woman.
An honest woman, or not a woman?
Oh, Mary, whip thee. You're a young, foolish sapling, and must be bold as I would have you.
The gods defend me.
Oh, if it please the gods to defend you by men, then men must comfort you, men must feed you, men must stir you up. Oh, bolts are turned. Now, sir, hast thou cried her through the market?
I have cried her almost to the number of her hairs. I have drawn her picture with my voice.
And I prithee, tell me, how dost thou find the inclination of the people, especially of the younger sort?
There was a Spaniard's mouth so watered that he went to bed to her very description.
Oh, pray you, come hither a while. You have fortunes coming upon you. Mark me, you must seem to do that fearfully which you commit willingly, despise profit where you have most gain, and to weep that you live as ye do makes pity in your lovers. Seldom but that pity begets you a good opinion, and that opinion a mere profit.
I understand you not.
Oh, take her home, mistress, take her home. These blushes of her must be quenched with some present practice.
Thou sayest true in faith, so they must.
Faith, some do and some do not. But mistress, if I have bargained for the joint...
Oh, thou mayest put a morsel off the spit.
I may so.
Who should deny it? Come, young one. I like the manner of your garments well.
Aye, by my faith, they shall not be changed yet.
Both, spend thou that in the town, report what a sojourner we have, and you'll lose nothing by custom.
I warn you, mistress, thunder shall not so awake the bed of eels as my giving out her beauty stir up the lewdly inclined. I'll bring home some tonight.
Come your ways. Follow me.
If fires be hot, knives sharp, or waters deep, untied I still my virgin knot will keep. Diana, aid my purpose.
What have we to do with Diana? Pray you, will you go with us?
To Tarsus now our Pericles sets forth upon the wayward seas, attended on by many a lord and knight, to see his daughter all his life's delight. So with his steerage shall your thoughts grow on, to fetch his daughter home, who first is gone. Your eyes unto your ears I'll reconcile, like motes and shadows. See them move a while.
Why are you foolish? Can it be undone?
Oh, Dionyza, such a piece of slaughter the sun and moon ne'er looked upon.
I think you'll turn a child again.
Were I chief lord of all this spacious world, I'd give it to undo the deed. Oh, villain! What canst thou say when Pericles shall demand his child?
That she is dead. Nurses are not the fates to foster it nor ever to preserve. She died at night, I'll say so. Who can cross it unless you play the pious innocent, and for an honest attribute crowd, she died by foul play.
All the faults beneath the heavens, the gods do like this the worst.
I do shame to think of what a noble strain you are and how coward a spirit. Yet none does know but you how she came dead, nor none can know, Leonine being gone. She did disdain my child and stood between her and her fortunes. None would look on her, but cast their gazes on Marina's face, whilst ours was blurted at and held a malk and not worth the time of day. It pierced me through, and though you call my course unnatural, not your child well-loving, yet I find it greets me as an enterprise of kindness performed to our sole daughter.
Heavens forgive it.
And for Pericles, what should he say? We wept after her hearse, and yet we mourn. Her monument is almost finished, and her epitaphs in glittering golden characters express a general praise to her, and care in us at whose expense 'tis done.
Or like the harpy, which to betray dost, with thine angel's face seize with thine eagle's talons.
You are like one that superstitiously doth swear to the gods that winter kills the fleas, and yet I know you'll do as I advise.
See how belief may suffer by foul show.
The fairest, sweetest, and best lies here, who withered in her spring of year. She was of Tyrus, the king's daughter, on whom foul death hath made this slaughter. Marina was she called, and at her birth, Thetis, being proud, swallowed some part of the earth. Therefore the earth, fearing to be o'erflowed, hath Thetis' birth child on the heavens bestowed. Wherefore she does, and swears she'll never stint, make raging battery upon shores of flint.
This borrowed passion stands for true owned woe, and Pericles, in sorrow all devoured, with sighs shot through and biggest tears o'ershowered, leaves Tharsis and again embarks. He swears never to wash his face nor cut his hairs. He puts on sackcloth and to sea. He bears a tempest which his mortal vessel tears, and yet he rides it out. Let Pericles believe his daughter's dead, and bear his courses to be ordered by Lady Fortune, while our scene must play his daughter's woe and heavy well-a-day in her unholy surface. Patience then, and think you now are all on in Mitylene.
Well, I had rather than twice the worth of her than she'd never come here.
Fie upon her. She's able to freeze the god Priapus and undo a whole generation. We must either get her ravished or be rid of her.
Faith, I must ravish her, or she'll defurnish us of all our cavaliers and make our swearers priests.
Oh, when she should do for her clients her fitment and to me the kindness of our profession, she has me her quirks, her reasons, her master reasons, her prayers, her knees. She would make a Puritan of the devil if he should cheapen a kiss of her. Oh, here comes Lord Lysimachus disguised.
We should have both lord and loon if the peevish baggage would but give way to customers.
Now, how are they, dozen virginities?
Now the gods to bless your honor.
I am glad to see your honor in good health.
How now, wholesome inequity, have you that a man may deal with all and defy the sturgeon?
We have here one, sir, if she would. But there never came her like in Mitylene.
If she do the deed of darkness, thou would say.
Your honor knows what 'tis to say well enough.
Well, call forth. Call forth.
Oh, here comes that which grows to the stalk, never plucked yet, I can assure you. Oh, is she not a fair creature?
Faith, she would serve after a long voyage at sea. Well, here's for you. Leave us.
Oh, I beseech your honor, give me leave. A word. I'll have done presently.
I beseech you do.
First, I would have you note, this is an honorable man.
I desire to find him so, that I may worthily note him.
And next, he's the governor of this country and a man whom I am bound to.
If he govern the country, you are bound to him indeed, but how honorable he is in that, I know not.
Oh, pray you, without any more virginal fencing, will you use him kindly? He will line your apron with gold.
What he will do graciously, I will thankfully
receive. Hey, you done?
My lord, she's not paced yet. You must take some pains to work her to your manage. Come, we will leave his honor and her together. Go thy ways.
Now, pretty one, how long have you been at this trade?
What trade, sir?
Oh, well, I cannot name, but I shall offend.
Well, I cannot be offended with my trade. Please you to name it.
How long have you been of this profession?
Ever since I can remember.
Did you go to it so young? Were you a gamester at 5 or 7?
Earlier too, sir, if now I be one.
Why, the house you dwell in proclaims you to be a creature of sail.
Do you know this house to be of such a place of such resort, and will come into it? I hear say you are of honorable parts, and are the governor of this place.
Why, hath your principal made known unto you who I am? Oh, you have heard something of my power, and so stand aloof for more serious wooing. But I do protest unto thee, pretty one. My authority shall not see thee or look friendly upon thee. Come, bring me to some private place. Come, come.
If you were born to honor, show it now. Or if put upon you, make the judgment good that thought you worthy of it.
How's this? How's this? Some more? Be sage.
For me that am a maid, though most ungentle fortune have placed me in this sty, where since I came, diseases have been sold dearer than physic. Oh, that the gods would set me free from this unhallowed place, though they did change me to the meanest bird that flies in the pure air.
I did not think thou could have spoke so well, ne'er dreamed thou couldst. Had I brought hither a corrupted mind, thy speech had altered it. Here's gold for thee. Persever in that clear way thou goest, and the gods strengthen thee.
The good gods preserve you.
I came with no ill intent, for to me the very doors and windows savor vilely. Fare thee well. Thou art a piece of virtue, and at Holt, here's more gold for thee. A curse upon him, die he like a thief that robs thee of thy goodness. If thou dost hear from me, it shall be for thy good.
I beseech your honor, one piece for me.
Avaunt, thou damned doorkeeper! Your house, before this virgin that doth prop it, would sink and overwhelm you. Away!
How's this? We must take another course with you. If your peevish chastity, which is not worth a breakfast in the cheapest country under cope, shall undo a whole household, let me be gilded like a spaniel. Come your ways.
Whither will you have me?
I must have your maidenhead taken off, or the common hangman shall execute it. Come your ways. We'll have no more gentlemen driven away. Come your ways, I say.
How now? What's the matter?
Worse and worse, mistress, she here has spoken unholy words to the Lord Lysimachus.
Oh, abominable!
She makes our profession, as it were, to stink afore the face of God.
Marry, hang her up forever.
The nobleman would have dealt with her like a nobleman, and she sent him away as cold as a snowball, saying his prayers too.
Well, take her away. You use her at thy pleasure. Crack the glass of her virginity and make the rest malleable.
And if she were a thornier piece of ground than she is, shall she be plowed.
Hark, you gods.
Oh, she conjures. Away with her. Would she had never come within my doors. Marry, hang you. She's born to undo us.
Come, mistress, come your ways with me.
Whither wilt thou have me?
To take from you the jewel you hold so dear.
Prithee, tell me one thing first.
Come now, your one thing.
What canst thou wish thine enemy to be?
Why, I could wish him to be my master, or rather, my mistress.
Neither of these are so bad as thou art, since they do better thee in their command. Thou holdst a place for which the painedst fiend of hell would not in reputation change. Thou art the damned doorkeeper to every coistrel that comes inquiring for his tib.
What would you have me do? Go to the wars, would you? Where a man may serve 7 years for the loss of a leg and have not money enough in the end to buy him a wooden one.
Do anything but this thou dost. Empty old receptacles or common shores of filth. Serve by indenture to a common hangman. Any of these ways are better than this. For what thou professest, a baboon, could he speak, would own a name too dear. Oh, that the gods would safely deliver me from this place. Here's gold for thee. If that thy master would gain by thee, proclaim I can sing, weave, sew, and dance with other virtues, which I'll keep from boast. And I will undertake all these to teach. I doubt not, but this populous city will yield many scholars.
But can you teach all this you speak of?
Prove that I cannot. Take me home again and prostitute me to the basest groom that doth frequent your house.
Well, I will see what I can do for thee. If I can place thee, I will.
But amongst honest women.
Faith, my acquaintance lies little amongst them. But since my master and mistress have bought you, there's no going but by their consent. Therefore, I will make them acquainted with your purpose. And I doubt not, but I shall find them tractable enough. Come, I'll do for thee what I can. Come your ways.
Marina thus the brothel scapes, and chances into an honest house, our story says. She sings like one immortal, and she dances as goddess-like to her admired lays. To her father turn our thoughts again, where he left him on the sea, whence, driven before the winds, he has arrived here, where his daughter dwells, and on this coast suppose him now at anchor.
Sir, there is a barge put off from Medellin, and in it is Lysimachus the governor, who craves to come aboard. What is your will?
That he have his. Call up the gentleman.
Oh, gentlemen, my lord calls. Sir, this is the man that can on the world resolve you.
Hail, reverend sir, the gods preserve you.
And you, sir, to outlive the age I am and die as I would do.
You wish me well. Being on shore, honoring of Neptune's triumph, seeing this goodly vessel ride before us, I made to it to know whence you are.
First, what is your place?
I am the governor of this place you lie before.
Sir, our vessel is of Tyre. In it the king, a man who for this 3 months hath not spoken to anyone, nor taken sustenance, but to prorogue his grief.
On what ground is his distemperature?
'Twould be too tedious to repeat, but the main grief springs from the loss of a beloved daughter and a wife.
May we not see him?
You may, but bootless is your sight, he will not speak to any.
Yet let me obtain my wish.
Behold him.
This was a goodly person.
Till the disaster that one mortal night drove him to this.
Sir King, all hail, the gods preserve you. Hail, royal sir.
It is in vain. He will not speak to you.
Sir, we have a maid in Medellin. I durst wager would win some words of him.
Is well bethought. She, questionless with her sweet harmony and other chosen attractions, would allure and make a battery through his deafened ports, which are now midway stopped. She is all happy as the fairest of all, and with her fellow maids is now upon the leafy shelter that abuts against the island side.
Sure, all's effectless. Yet nothing will omit that bears recovery's name.
Yet once more, let me entreat to know at large the cause of your king's sorrow.
Well, sir, I will recount it to you. Oh, but see, I am prevented.
Oh, here's the lady that I sent for. Welcome, fair one. Is it not a goodly present?
She's a gallant lady.
Oh, she's such a one that, were I well assured came of a gentle, kind, and noble stock, I'd wish no better choice and think me rarely wed. Fair one, all goodness that consists in bounty expect even here, where is the kingly patient. If that thy prosperous and artificial feet can draw him but to answer thee in aught, thy sacred physic shall receive such pay as thy desires can wish.
Sir, I will use my utmost skill in his recovery, provided that none but I be suffered to come near him.
Come, let us leave her, and the gods make her prosperous.
Hail, sir. My lord, lend ear. I am a maid, my lord, that ne'er before invited eyes, but have been gazed on like a comet. She speaks, my lord, that maybe hath endured a grief might equal yours if both were justly weighed. Though wayward fortune did malign my state, my derivation was from ancestors who stood equivalent with mighty kings. But time hath rooted out my parentage, and to the world and awkward casualties bound me to servitude. I will desist, but there is something that glows upon my cheek and whispers in my ear, go not till he speak.
My fortunes, parentage, good parentage to equal mine was Was it not thus? What say you?
I said, my lord, if you did know my parentage, you would not do me violence.
I do think so. Pray you, turn your eyes upon me. You are like something that... Ah, what country, woman? Here of these shores?
No, nor of any shores. Yet I was mortally brought forth, and am no other than I appear.
I am great with woe and will deliver weeping. My dearest wife was like this maid, and such a one my daughter might have been. My queen's square brows, her stature to an inch, as wand-like straight, as silver-voiced, her eyes as jewel-like, encased as richly. In pace, another Juno, who starves the ears she feeds and makes them hungry, the more she gives them speech. Where do you live?
Where I am but a stranger. From the deck you may discern the place.
Oh no, where were you bred?
If I should tell my history, it would seem like lies, disdained in the reporting.
Oh no, prithee speak. Falseness cannot come from thee, for thou look'st modest as justice, and thou seemst a palace for the crown truth to dwell in. I will believe thee, and make my senses credit thy relation to points that seem impossible, for thou look'st like one I loved indeed. What were thy friends? Didst thou not say, when I did push thee back, which was when I perceived thee, that thou camest from good descending?
So indeed I did.
Report thy parentage. I think thou saidst thou hadst been tossed from wrong to injury, and that thou thoughtst thy griefs might equal mine if both were open.
Some such thing I said, and said no more, but what my thoughts did warrant me was likely.
Tell thy story. If thine considered prove 1,000th part of my endurance, thou art a man, and I have suffered like a girl. Yet thou dost look like Patience, gazing upon kings' graves and smiling extremity out of act. What were thy friends? How lost thou them? Thy name? My most kind virgin, recount. I do beseech thee. Come, sit by me.
My name is Marina.
I am mocked. And thou by some insensate god sent hither to make the world to laugh at me.
Patience, good sir, or I'll cease.
Nay. I'll be patient. Thou little knowest how thou dost startle me to call thyself Marina.
The name was given me by one that had some power, my father and a king.
How? A king's daughter and called Marina?
You said you would believe me, but not to be a troubler of your peace, I will end here.
But are you flesh and blood? Have you a working pulse and are no fair emotion? Well, speak on. Where were you born? Wherefore called Marina?
Called Marina, for I was born at sea.
At sea? What mother?
My mother was the daughter of a king who died the minute I was born. And my good nurse Lychorida hath often delivered weeping.
Stop there a little. This is the rarest dream that ere dull sleep did mock sad fools with. All this cannot be. My daughter is buried. Well, where were you bred? I'll hear you more to the bottom of your story and never interrupt you.
You scorn. Believe me, 'twere best I did give o'er.
I will believe you by the syllable of what you shall deliver. Give me leave. How came you in these parts? Where were you bred?
The king, my father, did in Tarsus leave me, till cruel Cleon with his wicked wife did seek to murder me. And having wooed a villain to attempt it, who having grown to do it, a crew of pirates came and rescued me, brought me to Mytilene. But good sir, whither will you have me? Why do you weep? It may be you think me an impostor. No, a good faith. I am the daughter to King Pericles, if good King Pericles be.
Oh, Helicanus!
All's, my lord.
Thou art a grave and noble counselor, most wise in general. Tell me, if thou canst, what this maid is, or what is like to be that thus hath made me weep.
I know not, but Here is the regent, sir, of Mitylene, speaks nobly of her.
She would never tell her parentage. Being demanded that, she would sit still and weep.
Oh, Helicanus, strike me, honored sir. Give me a gash, put me to present pain, lest this great sea of joys rushing upon me o'erbear the shores of my mortality and drown me with their sweetness. Oh, come hither, thou that begetst him that did thee beget. Thou that was born at sea, buried at Tarsus, and found at sea again, O Helicanus, down on thy knees, thank the holy gods as loud as thunder threatens us. This is Marina. What was thy mother's name? Tell me but that, for truth can never be confirmed enough, though doubts did ever sleep.
First, sir, I pray, what is your title?
I am Pericles of Tyre. But tell me now my drowned queen's name, as in the rest you said thou hadst been godlike perfect, the heir of kingdoms, and another like to Pericles thy father.
Is it no more to be your daughter than to say my mother's name was Thaisa? Thaisa was my mother, who did end the minute I began.
A blessing on thee rise, thou art my child. Give me fresh garments. My own Helicanus, she is not dead at Tarsus as she should have been by savage Cleon. She shall tell thee all when thou shalt kneel and justify and knowledge she is thy very princess. Who's this?
Sir, 'tis the governor of Mitylene, who, hearing of your melancholy state, did come to see you.
I embrace you. Give me my robes. I am wild in my beholding. Oh, heavens bless my girl. Hark, what music. Tell Helicanus, my Marina, tell him over point by point, for yet he seems to doubt how sure you are my daughter. What music?
My lord, I hear none.
None? Huh. The music of the spheres. Oh, list, my Marina.
It's not good to cross him, give him way.
Rarest sounds, do you not hear?
Music, my lord, I hear.
Most heavenly music. It nips me unto listening. And thick slumber hangs upon mine eyes. Let me rest.
A pillow for his head. So leave him all.
My temple stands in Ephesus. Hie thee thither, and do upon mine altar sacrifice. There, when my maiden priests are met together, before the people all, reveal how thou at sea didst lose thy wife, to mourn thy crosses with thy daughters. Call, and give them repetition to the life. Perform my bidding, or thou livest in woe. Do it, and happy by my silver bow. Awake, and tell thy dream.
Celestial Diane, goddess Argentine, I will obey thee. Helicanus?
Sir.
My purpose was for Tarsus, there to strike the inhospitable Cleon, but I am for other service first. Towards Ephesus turn our blown sails, and soon I'll tell thee why. Shall we refresh us, sir, upon your shore, and give you gold for such provision as our intents shall need?
Sir, with all my heart, and when you come ashore, I'll have another suit.
You shall prevail, were it to woo my daughter, for it seems you have been noble towards her.
Sir, lend me your arm.
Come, my Marina.
Now our sands are almost run, more a little, and then done. In feathered briefness sails are filled, and wishes fall out as they're willed. At Ephesus the temple see, our king and all his company, that he can hither come so soon is by your fancy's thankful doom.
Hail, Diane. To perform thy just command, I here confess myself the king of Tyre. who frighted from my country did wed at Pentapolis the fair Thaisa. At sea in childbed died she, but brought forth a maid child called Marina, who, O goddess, wears yet thy silver livery. She at Tarsus was nursed with Cleon, who at 14 years he sought to murder, but her better stars brought her to Mytilene, gainst whose shore riding her fortunes brought the maid aboard us, where, by her own most clear remembrance, she made herself known my daughter.
Voice and favor, you are, oh, royal Pericles.
Oh, what needs the nun? She dies. Help, gentlemen.
Noble sir, if you have told Diana's altar true, this is your wife.
Reverend Emperor, no. I threw her overboard with these very arms.
Upon this coast, I warrant you.
'Tis most certain.
Look to the lady. Oh, she's but o'erjoyed. Early one blustering morn, this lady was thrown upon this shore. I opened the coffin, found their rich jewels, recovered her, and placed her here in Diana's temple. Look, Thaisa is recovered.
Let me look. Oh, my lord, are you not Pericles? Like him you spake, like him you are. Did you not name a tempest, a birth and death?
The voice of dead Thaisa.
That Thaisa I am. I, supposed dead and drowned.
Immortal Diana.
Now I know you better. When we with tears parted Pentapolis, the king, my father, gave you such a ring.
This, no more, you gods. Your present kindness makes my past misery sport. You shall do well that on the touching of her lips I may melt and no more be seen. Oh, come, be buried a second time within these arms.
My heart leaps to be gone into my mother's bosom.
Look, who kneels here, flesh of thy flesh, Thaisa, thy burden at the sea, and called Marina, for she was yielded there.
Blessed and mine own.
Hail, madam, and my queen.
I know you not.
No, you have heard me say, when I did fly from Tyre, I left behind an ancient substitute. Can you remember what I called the man? I've named him oft.
'Twas Helicanus then.
Confirmation still. Embrace him, dear Thaisa. This is he. Now do I long to hear how you were found, how possibly preserved, and who to thank besides the gods for this great miracle.
Lord Cerimon, my lord, this man, through whom the gods have shown their power, that can first to last resolve you.
Reverend sir, the gods have no mortal officer more like a god than you. Will you deliver how this dead queen relives?
I will, my lord. Beseech you first go with me to my house, where shall be shown you all was found with her, how she came placed here in the temple, no needful thing omitted.
Pure Diane, I bless thee for thy vision. Thaisa, this prince, the fair betrothed of your daughter, shall marry her at Pentapolis. There, my queen, we'll celebrate their nuptials, and ourselves will in that kingdom spend our following days. Our son and daughter shall in Tyrus reign. Lord Cerimon, we do our longing stay to hear the rest untold. Sir, leads the way.
In Antiochus and his daughter you have heard of monstrous loss, the due and just reward. For wicked Cleon and his wife, when fame had spread their cursed deed and honored name of Pericles, to rage the city turn, that him and his they in his palace burn. In Helicanus may you well descry a figure of truth, of faith, of loyalty. In reverent Cerimon there well appears the worth that learned charity eye wears. In Pericles, his queen and daughter seen, although assailed with fortune fierce and keen, virtue preserved from fell destruction's blast, led on by heaven and crowned with joy at last. So on your patience, evermore attending, new joy wait on you. Here our play has ending.
Hey, everybody. Yay, here they come.
Hey.
Great job, everyone.
Yeah, it was
Great job, great job. We're going to hop right into our Q&A, our quick Q&A. So the idea for this is we've got 3 questions that we'll ask at the end of every performance to the cast, during which hopefully we'll get some questions from the audience and the YouTube comments. So feel free to pop over into there and ask questions for the cast. The 3 questions will always be the same. So the first one is, cast, great job. Not a question, that's a statement. But the question is, what did you learn about this play that you didn't know before? Pericles, Prince of Tyre.
For me, that honor is rewarded. That it is, you know, if you're honorable, there can be gold at the end of the rainbow, or in this case, at the end of the tempest.
It doesn't matter how much you sleaze around like a brothel, as long as, you know, your heart's in the right place.
Anyone else thinks? Oh, yeah.
I didn't know the play. I had never read it. I don't know how many people had, but it's
no.
Yeah, I don't. This is such a joy to be able to go through all of the plays, because there are so many that are really beautiful that we don't really do that often.
This play really pops up for me like every 2 years for the last 6 years, and every single time it's like resonated different. Like I forgot that I've worked on it before. Like it resonates differently.
Well,
we've talked a lot about in the past couple of productions how much we hear the echoes of all the these previous plays recurring, and I wasn't braced for how much of that was going to happen in this, especially maybe it's because I've seen Deb play Lear, but the whole like reverse Lear Cordelia scene, this like foolish fond old man, and yet it doesn't end with devastation. It just keeps getting better. It was it's beautiful.
Yeah.
Anyone else? All right.
Somebody said something similar. It definitely feels like Shakespeare's greatest hits in like a really fun way,
Question number 2, hopping off of this, is what image, phrase, or word from the play popped out to you today?
Wow. Cleon, one sorrow never comes, but brings an heir that may succeed as his inheritor. Today was like, boy, was that resonant. Goodbye, everybody.
Danny, sending love. Cheeseburger.
I keep hearing like little wisps of Macbeth just keep popping out of this play for me, which makes sense because it was written right after it.
Eyes for me. I don't know why. I just, the phrase eyes just stuck in my head for a while after the word eyes.
I kept hearing traitor and loyalty. Loyalty's everywhere in this play. It's used over and over again. And honor, of course.
One of Marina's lines that stuck out to me from the very beginning was the bit where she says, this whole world is like a tempest to me, worrying me from my friends. And in this moment where we can't be with each other, I feel word away from my friends.
Hopping off of this moment, and what you just said, Laura, the third question is, why does this play matter to you right now? Not just a question just to you, Laura, but for the group. Why does this play matter right now?
I love this play so much because it really follows a person who is beset in all ways by everything that could possibly go wrong in life and tragedies. And like the motto that he wears on the shield, in hope, in this hope I live, is what that means. In this hope I live. He lives in hope. Even in the worst of times, even when he doesn't die sitting on the boat. Some little tiny part of him must be living in hope. And it's at the very, very, very tiniest little string that's left when Marina finally shows up, and because that hope is there and can't be destroyed, he is revived and the world comes round again. And that's what I see in this play. And that's what makes it so important to me today, for not just for COVID, but I mean, for every part of what we're going through today in our world.
Deb,
Try to
please
top
just,
that, somebody.
please just keep talking.
I think, Dan, you also, I'm talking a lot today. Dan, when we first started talking about the show, you were like, oh, this is a fairy tale. And it's nice to take a moment to listen to a fairy tale.
Well, that comes, citing my source, from Deb Kinghorn. When working on Pericles years ago together, really, it sort of unlocked for me the understanding of the play. Like, oh, of course it's a fairy tale. Of course there's all these different settings and so much magic and so much possibility. And it just feels like it's tropes. Like every character has like a trope that you recognize, which lets you get to the next level of like, okay, I don't need to figure out like what's going on here. I just need to know what's the second layer underneath, which I think is what makes this play so subtly beautiful and hopeful. And just like, yeah, there is that hope that it will end happily, and it does. And good God, please let this end happily for all of us.
Really?
Play feels like a bizarre version of the Odyssey.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's really nice. I've like Laura and Danny, I've never sort of looked at Pericles before. So it's just this nice sort of like this wacky cast of characters and this really colorful ensemble that just sort of like hops from place to place doing their thing, and like it resolves, and it's this beautiful ending with this really heartwarming but heartbreaking scene with Marina and Pericles, and it's just lovely.
We've got a comment in the YouTube from Jim Sears. I'm always smarter after Deb speaks.
Truer words were never
I
spoken.
love Jim Sears.
Jeffrey Kinghorn says, I love this line. So this is Tyre, which is it's awesome. A question, how do y'all decide which version of the play lines to use? From Amber LB. There are different unofficial versions. Monte?
So this one is kind of a hybrid of a Shakespearean cut of it. That did you do it, Dan? Do you even know at this point?
I did. Yeah, I did the cut.
And then going back and cross-referencing it with the quarto, and throwing in some little bits, and because we having the benefit of having this many actors rather than the number that would be in a Shakespearean's, meant that we can zoom out in different ways. So kind of a hybrid of those two things. Oh, did we lose Dan?
I'm here. I'm moving from the attic to the second floor because I'm losing power. So this is Zoom in real time, people.
With me?
I can come say hi to. Well, that'll create a sonic loop, which we probably don't want.
Well, we can just use my computer.
Okay. No, I'm okay. I'm plugged in. I'm back. Is there anyone in the room who can speak to the different? Samantha mentioned the different texts for Pericles. And Deb, I know you've studied this play quite a bit. In terms of the different source materials for this, any insight that makes it like we don't really get the chance. There was in the pre-show today. There's who says this line. There was a bit with Lysimachus and Helicanus, and it's like, well, there's conflicting sources. We don't really have the cleanliness of source we have with other plays. So
yeah, we don't have clean sources for it, and so in terms of choosing it, what I did was I looked at everything I could get my hands on and make comparisons, and then literally took what I thought was the best, and I ditched things that were really. But when I directed the production, I ditched things. I haven't been drinking at all. I ditched everything.
You're high
that
on
really,
Shakespeare.
Really didn't make sense or was too long and involved or whatever. So how do you decide? I think you have to choose what's best for the ensemble of actors that you have and what makes the best story without losing the I guess the beauty of whatever language you're given. First half of the play, Shakespeare maybe, second half of the play, Shakespeare definitely,
You can feel it too.
Yeah.
You can feel it when you're like, oh yeah, this is Shakespeare. Well, we are just at time for the Q&A, so thank you to the actors for doing this. Thanks for sharing your gifts, your talents, and your time. Thank you for the audience for watching. If you are interested in joining us in the digital pub, we're heading that way now. Become a Patreoner at certain levels, you'll get access to that club. So feel free, and if you do it right now, you'll get in tonight. Thank you to all who are doing that. And if you could just please let people know that this is happening. All the normal YouTube stuff, like, subscribe, and share. I don't like doing these things, but actually I see the value in it. So please let people know. We'd love to have more people engaged and come on
and
down.
to give you a special incentive to subscribe. Oh, my video is delayed. Hold on. We only need like 6 more subscribers, and then we can name our channel our own thing rather than weird letters at the end of the YouTube URL. So subscribe,
great.
and then we can be youtube.com/Shakespeare Happy Hours. We only need like 3 more people.
Okay.
Thanks, y'all. We'll see you at the pub.
Yay.
Thank you, cast. Great job.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah.
Bye. Thanks,
Bye.
everybody.
Bye.